Looking good.
All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ken Houston, the son of Oakland, born, raised, committed. Thank you for tuning in to Tumble Tweet Media. I'll be your host tonight. Mr. Alexander is still working on getting council member Lynette Gibson McElhaney online. Tonight, we'll be talking about two issues: the shelter-in-place extension by the governor and the moratorium that Oakland passed on March the 21st. Before he gets her on, don't forget tomorrow at 1 o'clock, that's April the 4th, we're going to have a very, very interesting show. It's going, what's good hair, question mark, and what's bad hair, question mark, at 1 p.m. tomorrow, April the 4th. This social media channel, Tumble Tweet Media, is a nonpartisan, grassroots, on the ground, getting dirty. That's why I'm doing it, because I'm always on the ground. So we'll talk about these two subjects because it's very troubling. We're living in some very, very troubling times. Charters that we have never crossed. Our children are at learning distance. It's called distance learning. Our seniors are very fearful. I have an 84-year-old mom at home, and you know, she tries to be tough, and I see it, and I could see the fear. You know, I talked to Gladys Green and a senior that I really respect. I call her the godmother of East Oakland. She says, check on me, baby. Check on me, baby. We're worried about where's this going? I heard on the news, my mom, just before I left to come here, my mother said, hey, come in here, look at this. San Francisco, London Breed, the police chief, stated that they will start arresting people if they don't follow that shelter in place. This means it's something serious. It's more than what they're really telling us, and we're going through this together. We're going through this as a community. I learned from my cousin Daryl Carey, which is ill right now, so let's keep him in our prayers, that politics starts local. And this worldwide epidemic is on continents. It's in states. It's in cities. It's in counties. And it's in districts. And that's why I wanted to start getting council members from all across Alameda County, Contra Costa County, to tell us and share with us the flow of information. Because I'm finding out on the street that the flow of information is not a link to a governmental site. It's not listening to the news. Sometimes you have to get on the ground, grassroots, to let individuals know that can. I hear some feedback in my phone, so that's why I stuttered for a second. So let's do this. It's had some feedback in my my earpiece that threw me off. The shelter in place. This problem that has happened, this epidemic. In California, we have 10 million individuals that applied for unemployment. Mr. Alexander, I can't get it. It's a double in my earpiece. So you got to fix that for me. Our children are now distance learning. It's back on. Our seniors are afraid. You know, we knew it this, so we got some technical issues, so bear with us, please. This is our second live show. The first one was the forum for District 7. And just yesterday, the governor mentioned everyone wear masks when you go outside. That's scary. They're not telling us something. So we are going to talk to her about the moratorium. The moratorium that was passed by the city council on March the 21st. The moratorium is on mortgage and foreclosures, direct assistance program, grants programs, emergency programs. And I wanted to talk to her about some things I saw online, some things I'm hearing in the streets, about the strong show of unity that she mentioned on her page. I wanted her to show me and talk to me why it was so important. Is she on? Is she on?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just wait till she gets on. So, I'm going to start back at page 1. Yeah, put her on. It's all good. So, how are you?
Hey, Ken.
How
Hi,
are
everybody.
you?
I'm good.
So,
Doing
what I'm going to
okay.
do
We're
is...
doing all right.
Yes, we are. I had already started because I knew we had some little technical issues. So, I'm going to start it off like I would have from the very beginning. So, bear with me. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to Tumble Tweet Media. And as I said, that this epidemic brought us to this point. And like I said, my cousin Daryl Carey, that is ill right now, let's pray for him, told me and taught me that politics starts local. This epidemic is worldwide. It's on continents. It's in states, cities, counties, and districts. So this evening we invited to speak to us and share with us the City of Oakland council member that was elected November the 2012, Oakland Council Member District 3. Let me read here. A dynamic, diverse community that includes neighborhoods of West Oakland, Adams Point, downtown Oakland, Uptown, Jack London, that's Jack London Square, Lake Merritt, Peel Hill, the Port of Oakland, and the Farmer Army Base. I'm proud to introduce to you the Honorable Lynette Gibson McElhaney, District 3, Oakland City Council Member. Welcome, Council Member Lynette McElhaney.
Well, thank you. It's good to be with you, son of Oakland.
Yes,
Good to be with you. And I thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to speak to your viewers.
Okay. We're living in some troubling times. On March the 3rd, the governor mentioned the shelter in place extended with these new restrictions. And I was watching you on your live feed also. And is that May 3rd that it's over?
It's essentially midnight May 4th. So I've just been telling people May 4th.
Yeah,
it's
I heard that.
11:59 May 3rd.
I heard that. So share with us, and talk to your district, talk to the county, talk to just the world. I heard on the news 10 million individuals applied for unemployment. Our children are now at distant learning. I heard that Tony Thurman was mentioning that. Our seniors are afraid. This is a scary time and a critical time in life that I've never seen. I talked to Gladys Green this morning, and she says, "Call me, baby." You know, and she's a strong woman. And my mother's 82, and I was just sharing that. And you know, I try to be strong for her too, because it's heart-wrenching to see them like this. So share with us with your thoughts that what you would do to encourage and talk to your district.
Well, thank you. I think since we're speaking about the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, the first thing that I really want to say to everybody is take it seriously. This is a very serious situation. I just finished riding my bike around the lake and throughout the district, actually, and where most people are complying with the public health officer's decree to shelter in place, to use the outdoor space in a socially responsible way. I still saw some brothers kickboxing, saw another set of brothers who were playing basketball. I think it was 3-on-3 basketball in ways that I think is not taking their own personal safety into consideration, or the fact that they live with others, maybe children or elders who would be at risk for transmission. And so I just really, first of all, want everybody to take the pandemic seriously, to take the
Yes.
threat seriously. And I know there's a lot of conspiracies that are out there, and maybe some of them are true. I don't know if COVID-19 was man-made, if it's a bioterrorist agent. What I do know is it's real, and that our ability to stay ahead of it, the most perfect vaccination right now, is to stay at home
Right.
and
Right.
allow science and researchers to catch up with how fast it spreads, so that we can have the vaccine, so that we can have proper treatment. I mean, I know people are feeling this when Miss Barbara Hopper's death, with,
I saw that.
you know, uh, yesterday, one of our jazz greats, Ellis Marcellus, passed. We've been looking at a number of people known to us. Idris Elba tested positive. Tom Hanks, Oakland owned Tom
Wow.
Hanks, testing positive.
Yes.
So this is Prince Charles over there in Buckingham Palace,
So it
testing
has no
positive.
borders.
It has no borders whatsoever, and it's important for us to take care of ourselves, to do the protocols, to stay socially distanced, to stay at home, to wash your hands, and to make sure that you take it seriously and don't take it as a joke. Now, the economic part of this crisis is also very serious,
That's what I
and
like to hear.
the thing that I want to say, just as a leader, as a black woman who's been here a couple of decades, or 2 or 3 or more, I want to remind us that we've been through worse times.
Yes.
We honestly have. And I say that not just to minimize how troubling and frightening this particular moment is, but to remind us that we are resilient, that we are creative, and that we are resourceful, and that we will get through this if we lean into this present moment and, advocate for the things that we need, and in this space make the nation better and much more responsive to our needs. When we adopted the moratorium on the 27th, I think people heard me say out loud, when America catches a cold, Black America gets pneumonia.
Yes.
If America's got COVID-19, then we've got COVID-19 on spades, right? To the nth degree. And so we know that this is going to be more devastating to our businesses, more devastating to us in tenancies, more devastating to us as workers, because many of us lived marginal lives before the pandemic actually hit our shores. And so it just made us more vulnerable to it.
Yes.
That said, I also know that in crisis is born opportunity. And I think that this is an opportunity for us to correct some things that should have been in place a long time ago. Now, Ken, we all know that you're checking on the elders, but there are so many young people right now who are making that extra call, that are taking meals because they're not at work and they're not in 3-hour commutes. They're now able to take meals to the
Yes.
elders and their family in a socially responsible way, taking meals to the porch, not going inside the house. But we've got so many people running errands for their great aunts and uncles, the people
That's
making phone
beautiful.
calls, right? So there's beauty. There are, in some of our churches, though they had been slow to adopt technology, they are now finding more people that they're able to touch, because seniors can now call in to the prayer line, where before they had to maybe deal with transportation challenges to
You know,
get from.
my mother, right now.
You see? So people are able to make some different connections. And I think that if we are leaning into this very moment, we may find that on the other side of that, we have built new strands of resilience. And maybe what we can do, we've been complaining that our school system has been miseducating our children for some time. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to revamp what Sunday school used to really be about, revamp Saturday schools,
Right.
extend what Freedom School means, as we really lean into the moment right now to not only educate our young people, but to educate the undereducated parents. Now you imagine, now we're in learning clusters with families. We're in learning clusters as we come out of the shelter in place, and there will be an after.
It will
This
be.
is not for forever.
It's not.
We're not all of a sudden one of them sci-fi movies where we all got to live underground and
The
we can't breathe
legend.
the air. That's not what's going on. We have 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks of where we're going to try to get ahead of the get ahead of the virus, right?
Right.
We're going to do that. And then what are we doing in this 8 weeks to make sure that we're stronger, better positioned, that our politic is better, more responsive,
Yes.
more informed, and more towards justice? I think more than anything that I've been able to talk about in the last 7 years that I've been on this council, COVID-19 has laid bare the gross inequities in our country and in our city. You know,
Good.
it
Good.
has it has made people much more sensitive, even from a selfish place, when they say the unsheltered now pose a particular risk to overall public health. Well, that's another way of saying, aha, there is no them and us. There's only we.
Right. Right.
And now you figured out
You know what?
that you're
I'm sorry. She froze.
I think that there's an opportunity in this we-ness moment. We're all in this together,
Yes.
President Trump says, right? We're all in this together, Leader Schumer says. We're all in this together, Leader Pelosi said. We're all in this.
Council member,
So,
you led me to the next subject when you spoke about the moratorium. You guys launched that on March. Was that the 21st? The
I believe it's
21st?
the 27th.
Okay, 27th.
Last Friday.
And it was approved sweeping emergency moratorium on evictions, rent increases, and late fees to protect tenants and small commercial businesses experience financial hardship due to the COVID-19. I'm reading this off your site.
Yes.
And you said something really important, and I wanted to get some things out there. This moratorium is a lifeline for my district. That's what you said here. And the moratorium, you had some bullet points. You had 4 bullet points on mortgage foreclosures, direct assistance programs, grant programs, emergency programs, and listen to this, and expanded support for those experiencing homelessness. Share with us your thoughts on those bullet points.
Well, I mean, it just makes sense that we wanted to take away any opportunity for unscrupulous actors to use the pandemic as an opportunity to dislocate people or to threaten tenants. And we also wanted to send a strong signal that we don't want the the public health concerns in response to the public health to wipe Oakland out of Oakland, right? I want to make sure that those that have been knocked down by the right public health response to put life before everything else, but we also have to get back to our livelihoods. And so we wanted to make sure that we were level setting the playing field, that those existing agreements between landlords and tenants would be in place 60, 90 days out when we expect to get back on our feet and to move back into a full economy. And we wanted to be able to send the signal from the government that urges all lenders throughout the economic chain to work on the reset, to not think about this as an opportunity to do a vicious cycle that wouldn't serve, we don't believe would serve them well anyways, but to move out of what is the normal business practice. In the normal business practice, right, it's contractual. If you don't pay your rent, you're subject to an eviction.
Yes.
There's nothing nefarious about that. That's the agreement that we signed. I agree to pay you this money on the 1st. I agree to pay you a late fee if it's not there by the 5th or the 10th or the 15th, depending on your lease agreement, right? It's just, this is our agreement. It's a covenant that we make. So we're saying that these are extraordinary times. This is not business as usual. This isn't a time to say we want to work with just the specific letter of that contract. We want to live into a higher level in terms of what are our social covenants with one another that go beyond the paper, right? And our social covenant right now, to go back to what I was saying, is that all across the nation, at every level of the pandemic, from the White House to your city councils, right? Everyone is saying the rhetorical refrain, we are all in this together.
Yes.
And so saying that, we wanted to make sure that we were signaling from our seat within the expanded authorities that we have from the governor's order. So
Yes.
let's just be clear. This is not an action Oakland would have been able to take without state action first. The governor gave us the ability to pass local ordinances
Good. Yes.
that would strengthen tenant protections for both commercial and residential tenants. And we want to say that this is just a breather. It does not violate the agreements that those parties have entered into, what's due each month, but it does take away the fact that due to no fault of your own, due to an act
Right.
of nature,
Right.
this
Right.
virus, that you could not lose your place of business or your home.
So it's been some things said, and I've heard things, and like I said, this is nonpartisan, and you said something really important that you stated, and I want to know why you stated it was so important. Let me read it. In a strong show of unity, Councilmember McElhaney urged the entire council to co-sponsor the ordinance that was introduced by Bass, Cobb, and the city attorney. Why was that so important for you to have a unanimous across the board?
In unity, there's strength.
Yes.
Yeah. I think there are some things that are a moral imperative where, first of all, I believe in collective wisdom. As a leader on the council, I have pushed for and advocated for us to arrive at joint decisions because I believe that we are each elected from different parts of our whole selves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I value diversity, that means I have to value the diversity of opinion and interests, as well as race, gender identity,
Yes.
economic status. But it's such a powerful thing to say, no matter where we come from, no matter who we represent, by district or interest groups, no
Yes.
matter who we're caping for, that we all believe in this same thing. And what was beautiful about it
Yes.
is when we speak in one voice, then the citizenry, the the financial markets, everyone understands that Oakland stands united. And
Yes.
when Oakland stands united, it's so hard to defeat us. I won't
Right.
say that we won't take some losses, but
Right.
I'm just saying it's really difficult to defeat a united Oakland.
You know
But
what?
we are often defeated when we are divided.
You know what? You have always been so articulate. You've always been just an excellent speaker. Before you even became council member, I was like, wow, she can speak. So I really appreciate that.
Thank
This will
God for the
be,
black church.
yeah, come on. Come on. So
So,
this will be
Easter
our
speeches, I guess how you
as
get started.
no,
Easter
you're
speeches.
you're good, and I really respect that, and I admire it. I really do. This will be our last question, and thank you for your insight and wealth of knowledge. We'll be inviting you to speak on some other issues on Tumble Tweet Media. And here's the question: what advice and encouragement can you give the district, your district? Let's say this: your district, the county, and the United States. In these times of uncertainty, what encouragement can you give them, council member?
Oh, wow. Ken, thank you so much for that particular question.
Yes.
Because I think the number one thing that I'm here to do is to be a dealer of hope and
Yes.
happiness. Uh, so the first thing that I want to say to people is don't let this pandemic give you the blues.
Right.
Like, for real. Um, there's a lot about it that we don't know, but here's some things that we do know. We do have the science. We do have the technology. We do have the ability and the wherewithal to confront this particular enemy. And because of that, as the nation continues to rally and we're able to move things forward, we are in a good position to rebound. I want to remind people that this isn't our first rodeo of bad things happening, and it is certainly not our worst. We might have said that the worst day for any of us who are of African descent was the day our ancestors were stolen in chains. It looked pretty bleak. It looked pretty bleak to be taken across the Atlantic to place unknown without your family, without your language, without your recognition of God. And yet we have found a way to survive and to thrive and to to continue to make meaningful contributions to the world and to advance freedom on every continent because of that experience. We might have said that our worst day, if we were Asians, was when we were excluded from participation in the country through the Chinese Exclusionary Act. But somehow those ancestors survived it, built businesses, built Chinatowns, lived to make sure that their children went on to universities and to make great contributions to our society. They might have thought that in decimating, they thought they decimated our First Nations people, our Native American people, but you know, our sister Marina Gold would remind us that no, they haven't gone anywhere. They were never taken out. They were able to survive you know what I mean, in different kind of ways. We've survived the flu pandemic of 1918. We've survived the Great Recession. We've survived crack. we survived.
That's no joke.
We've survived AIDS. We bounced back after Loma Prieta. We healed our hearts after the loss of Dr. King and Malcolm X and Bobby and John F. Kennedy. We have seen bad days, but guess what, Ken?
Yes.
We've seen some good days that come after that.
Yes.
The one thing that we know, no matter how cold or dark the winter, there is always spring. And so here we are, just waiting on spring.
Yes.
And
it's coming too.
It's coming. Spring is coming. It may be a few weeks delayed. You know how they say the groundhog come up and didn't see his shadow or saw his shadow, or whichever way that thing goes, always looking for the shadow. If the groundhog got to come up twice, it's okay. We'll wait. But what I really want to say to everybody is just check on your people.
Yep.
As Marshawn would say, take care of your mentals. Make sure that you're speaking faith and not fear to your heart. Make sure that you are getting smart about what to do with your money. If you had not saved 6 months of living before, make sure that as you come out of this, that you begin to get on your savings plan. And I have to say this one last thing, Ken, when you talk about it on the national level, I really do believe that this is an opportunity right now for those of us who believe in justice, who have been on the battlefield for justice, that this is a time that we advance, not retreat. Because our opposition, they're not abandoning trying to take away SNAP from our children, right? The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. They're still trying to cut food stamps. They're still trying to increase incarceration for people from marijuana. They haven't stopped their agenda. They haven't stopped trying to kill the Affordable Care Act, even though it has won all the way up to the Supreme Court. So if your enemy will not rest in trying to defeat you, you can't rest in trying to make sure you defeat your enemy. So we're here. Right. We're here. We are full of love. We are full of creative ideas. And if we will hold ourselves together, we will see victory in springtime.
So we like to thank Council Member Lynette Gibson McElhaney of District 3. Be safe. Be blessed.
Thank you. People can find me at Lynette GM on Twitter.
Go ahead.
They
give it
can
up.
find me on Facebook and Twitter. And we look forward to connecting with you on LinkedIn or Twitter or on Instagram at Lynette, Lynnette GM on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, you'll find me as Lynette Gibson McElhaney on Facebook. I want to stay in touch with you if you have particular questions about how the support that's available for your business.
Yes.
Then make sure that you get in touch with us. lmcElhaney@oaklandca.gov is my email. And we're happy to try to answer as many questions. You can leave us questions on Facebook or on Twitter. We're trying to respond as quickly as we can and direct people to the resources that are out there. If you are currently facing a situation with your landlord, our Housing Assistance Center is open. They are doing virtual appointments by phone and by Zoom. And so you can still see a counselor to make sure that there are no shenanigans, whether you're a commercial tenant or a residential tenant. Number one thing is we want to make sure Oakland is still Oakland when springtime comes.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon and be blessed. I'd like to thank the public for tuning in this evening to Tumble Tweet Media. I'm tuning tomorrow, April the 4th at 1 o'clock. Good hair, Question mark, bad hair. Let me say it again. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., what's good hair and what's bad hair? This is yours and yours only, Ken Houston, the son of Oakland, born, raised, committed. Have a blessed evening. Thank you.